The ocean floor trembled like a sleeping giant waking up. Commander Hyojin felt the vibration through the steel hull of the submarine, Baekdu as it moved through the dark waters above the Mariana Trench. The Korean submarine had been on a routine patrol mission when the seabed started acting strange. "Captain, sonar is picking up something weird down there," called out Lieutenant J1 from his station. His face showed worry as he adjusted his headphones. "The readings don't make sense. It's like the bottom of the ocean is ... moving." Hyojin moved to the sonar station and looked at the screen. Green lines danced across the display, showing shapes that shouldn't exist in the deepest part of the ocean. The patterns looked too organized, too perfect to be natural. Something was building down there in the crushing darkness. "Take us down another 200 meters, Hyojin ordered. "I want to see what's happening." The Baekdu descended deeper into the black water. Outside the submarine, the pressure could crush a human body in seconds, but inside the steel tube, the crew worked calmly. They had trained for this kind of deep water mission many times. Then the lights appeared. At first, it was just a soft blue glow coming from the ocean floor. But as they watched, the light grew brighter and started spreading. It wasn't the kind of light that came from human machines. This light pulsed and moved like it was alive. "Sir, I'm reading massive construction activity down there," J1 reported. His voice was tight with disbelief. "Whatever is building those structures is working fast. Really fast." Through the submarine's cameras, they could see strange shapes rising from the ocean floor. The structures looked like giant coral reefs, but they grew too quickly and in patterns that nature never made. Tall spires twisted up from the seabed, connected by bridges that glowed with that same blue light. "Get me a direct line to Fleet Command," Hyojin said. "They need to know about this right now." While the communications officer worked to establish contact, more lights began appearing across the ocean floor. It was like watching a city being built in fast forward. The structures grew larger and more complex with each passing minute. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "I'm getting reports from other submarines. The USS Virginia is seeing the same thing near Puerto Rico. A Chinese sub is reporting similar activity in the South China Sea." Hyojin felt a cold fear settle in his stomach. This wasn't just happening in one place. Whatever was building these underwater cities was doing it all over the world at the same time. Captain Dong-Soo of the USS Virginia was experiencing the same shock 3,000 miles away. His American submarine hung suspended in the water above the Puerto Rico Trench, watching the impossible sight below. Alien structures were rising from the deepest parts of the ocean like flowers blooming in reverse. "Sir, I'm detecting movement." "In those structures?" his sonar operator reported. "Big movement. There's something alive down there, and there's a lot of it." The creatures appeared on the sonar screens as dark shapes moving through the glowing structures. They were large, much larger than any whale, and they moved with purpose. These weren't mindless sea creatures wandering around. They were organized, working together to build something. "What do you think they are, Captain?" asked the submarine's executive officer. Dong-Soo studied the sonar readings carefully. The shapes moved too intelligently to be any known sea life, and the speed at which they were building their underwater cities suggested technology far beyond human capability. "I don't think they're from Earth," he said quietly. Back on the Baekdu, Hyojin was reaching the same conclusion. The evidence was overwhelming. No human nation had the technology to build underwater cities this quickly. No Earth creature could create structures this complex. And the coordination happening across multiple ocean trenches suggested a planned invasion. "Sir, Fleet Command is ordering all submarines to maintain observation distance and gather intelligence," the communications officer reported. "They want detailed scans of the structures and any life forms we detect." As if responding to their presence, one of the alien structures suddenly flared with bright light. The illumination revealed the creatures for the first time. They were unlike anything in Earth's oceans, long and snake-like, but with multiple arms that ended in delicate manipulation appendages. Their skin glowed with the same blue light as their buildings. They know we're here, J1 whispered. More structures began lighting up across the ocean floor. The aliens were communicating, sharing information about the human submarines watching from above. But they didn't seem alarmed by the human presence. If anything, they appeared to ignore the submarines completely. They're not worried about us, Hyojin realized. They think we're not a threat. The alien strategy was becoming clear. While humans fought wars on land and in the air, these creatures had claimed the oceans. They controlled 70% of Earth's surface, and they were building their invasion base in the one place humans couldn't easily reach. The Baekdu received new orders to surface and report to the nearest naval base. As they began their ascent, Hyojin watched the alien city continue to grow below them. Thousands of the creatures moved through the structures, adding new sections and expanding their underwater empire. Captain, J1 said, I'm picking up electromagnetic signals from the structures. They're communicating with something else, something not on Earth. The signals were being sent straight up through the water, through the atmosphere, and into space. The aliens were talking to others of their kind, probably reporting on their successful landing and the start of their construction project. Captain, Dongsu's submarine detected similar communication signals near Puerto Rico, all around the world. The aliens were building their underwater bases and reporting their progress to their home planet. They had chosen Earth's oceans as their beachhead because they thought humans were weak in the water. They were about to learn how wrong they were as news of the alien invasion spread to naval commands around the world. A different kind of preparation began. Submarine fleets that had been designed to fight each other were now being redirected to face a common enemy. The aliens had made a critical mistake in their invasion plan. They had chosen to fight humanity in the one environment where humans had spent centuries perfecting the art of silent, invisible warfare. Every submarine in the world's navies was built for one purpose: to hunt and kill while remaining completely hidden. The aliens' glowing cities and constant communication signals made them easy to track. Their large, slow-moving bodies were perfect targets for weapons designed to sink heavily armored warships. And their complete lack of stealth meant they would never see the attack coming. Admiral Sunki received the reports from submarines around the world in his command center in Seoul. The alien invasion was real, and it was happening in every ocean, trench on Earth. But as he studied the intelligence reports, he began to smile. The aliens had given humanity the perfect opportunity to show them what terror really looked like. They thought they were safe in the deep ocean. They thought humans couldn't fight effectively underwater. They were about to discover that Earth's oceans belonged to humanity's submarines, and those submarines were about to become the aliens' worst nightmare. Captain Minho pressed his eye against the periscope as his Chinese submarine, Type 095, moved silently through the dark waters of the South China Sea. 3 days had passed since the alien structures first appeared, and now he was leading the first direct investigation mission into alien-controlled waters. The submarine's hull was specially designed to absorb sonar waves, making it nearly invisible to traditional detection methods. Minho hoped this advantage would work against the aliens too, but nobody knew for sure. This mission would test whether human stealth technology could fool alien sensors. Sonar contact bearing 270, reported Lieutenant J1 from his station, distance 4,000 meters and closing. Sir, these aren't like anything we've seen before. Through the periscope, Minho could see them approaching. 3 alien vessels moved through the water like giant glowing snakes. Their bodies pulsed with blue and green lights that made them visible from kilometers away. Each ship was over 200 meters long, with a flexible spine that curved and twisted as they swam. They're beautiful, whispered the executive officer, and terrifying. The alien bioships moved in perfect formation, their bodies undulating in rhythm with each other. But what struck Minho most was how loud they were. Even without sonar, he could hear them through the submarine's hull. They clicked and chirped constantly, filling the water with sound. Sir, they're using some kind of biological sonar, J1 reported. The sounds they're making are bouncing off everything in the water. It's like they're painting a picture of their surroundings with sound. Minho smiled grimly. The aliens were announcing their presence to everything in the ocean. After millions of years of evolution in their home waters, they had never learned the value of silence. They probably didn't even know that stealth was possible. "All stop," he ordered quietly. "Silent running protocols. I want to see if they can detect us." The submarine's engines went quiet. All unnecessary systems were shut down. The crew moved carefully to avoid making any noise. The Type 095 became a ghost in the water, drifting silently as the alien ships approached. The bioships passed within 500 meters of the submarine. Their sonar clicks echoed through the water, but none of the sounds seemed to register the submarine's presence. The aliens swam past without slowing down or changing course. "They can't see us," Minho breathed. "The sonar isn't designed to detect something this quiet." But as the alien ships moved away, one of them suddenly stopped. Its glowing body turned in the water, and Minho could see what looked like sensory organs focusing in their direction. The creature had noticed something, even if it couldn't identify what. "Sir, one of them is turning back," J1 reported. "It's moving toward our position." The alien bioship approached slowly, its body pulsing with brighter lights. Minho could see appendages extending from its sides, probably scanning the water for whatever had caught its attention. The creature was clearly intelligent and curious about the anomaly it had detected. "Weapon status?" Minho asked quietly. "2 torpedoes loaded and ready, sir," replied the weapons officer. Targeting solution locked on the approaching vessel. The alien ship moved closer, now only 200 meters away. Through the periscope, Minho could see details of its biological construction. The hull was covered in what looked like scales, but they shifted and changed color as he watched. Tentacle-like appendages extended from the creature's sides. Feeling through the water, that's when Minho made his decision. "Fire tube 1, he ordered. The torpedo left the submarine with barely a whisper of sound. The alien creature continued its investigation, completely unaware that death was racing toward it through the water. The bioship's sonar was useless against the torpedoes. Small size and acoustic dampening, the explosion lit up the ocean like an underwater sun. The alien vessel's glowing body was torn apart by the blast, sending chunks of biological material floating through the water. Bright blue fluid spread through the sea like alien blood. The other 2 bioships immediately converged on their destroyed companion. Their bodies flashed with rapid light patterns, clearly communicating distress and confusion. They scanned the water frantically with their sonar, but their clicking sounds revealed nothing about the source of the attack. "Fire tube 2, Minho ordered. The second torpedo struck another bioship before it could react. The creature's body convulsed as the explosion tore through its biological systems. It tried to swim away, but its movements became erratic and uncontrolled. Within minutes, it stopped moving and began sinking toward the ocean floor. The surviving alien ship panicked. Its light patterns became chaotic and bright, probably calling for help. It spun in circles, searching desperately for an enemy it couldn't see or understand. The creature had no experience with stealth attacks. In its home waters, all conflicts were probably visible and direct. "Sir, should we finish it off?" asked the weapons officer. Minho considered the question. The surviving alien would report back to its commanders about the attack, but that might be exactly what humanity needed. Fear could be a powerful weapon. "No," he said, "let it run. Let it tell the others what happened here." The alien bioship fled toward deeper waters, its frantic light signals visible for kilometers. Minho knew that other aliens would see those signals and wonder what had caused such terror. "Captain, I'm detecting response signals from the alien base," J1 reported. "Multiple vessels are heading this way." "Take us deep and quiet," Minho ordered. "We've done what we came to do." The submarine descended into the darker waters below, becoming invisible once again. As they moved away from the battle site, Minho felt a grim satisfaction. The aliens had just learned their first lesson about fighting humans in Earth's oceans, within hours. Reports of the engagement reached submarine commands around the world. The aliens could be killed, and they couldn't detect properly stealthed submarines. But more importantly, They seemed to have no understanding of silent warfare at all. Admiral Sun-Ki studied the battle report in his command center. The aliens' weakness was now clear. They had evolved in waters where stealth was impossible, so they had never developed defenses against it. Their glowing bodies and constant noise made them perfect targets for submarine attacks. "Send this intelligence to all submarine commanders," he ordered. "The aliens are vulnerable to stealth attacks. They rely completely on biological sonar, which can't detect our submarines effectively." Similar orders went out from naval commands in Washington, Moscow, London, and every other nation with submarine capabilities. The aliens had made a fatal error in choosing Earth's oceans as their battleground. Captain Dong-Su received the intelligence report while patrolling near the Puerto Rico Trench. His submarine had been watching alien movements for 3 days, and now he had permission to engage. The aliens were about to learn that Earth's oceans were defended by predators they had never imagined. The surviving alien from Minho's attack had indeed spread word of the encounter. Alien communications were filled with confused reports about invisible attackers and mysterious explosions. Their commanders struggled to understand how their bioships could be destroyed without any warning, but understanding wouldn't help them. Across Earth's oceans, human submarines were moving into position for a war the aliens couldn't win. They had brought their invasion to the one place where humanity held every advantage. The alien invasion of Earth's oceans was about to become their nightmare. Admiral Sun-Ki stood in the command center buried 3 kilometers below the Pacific Ocean floor. The secret facility had been built during the Cold War as a place to coordinate submarine warfare, but now it served a different purpose. From this hidden base, he was orchestrating humanity's response to the alien invasion. Screens around the command center showed submarine positions across every ocean on Earth. Red dots marked alien bases and patrol routes, while blue dots represented human submarines moving into attack positions. The war for Earth's oceans was about to begin in earnest. "Sir, we have confirmation from all theater commanders," reported his communications officer. "Submarines from 12 nations are in position and ready to commence operations." Sun-Ki nodded grimly. The aliens had spent a week building their underwater cities and establishing patrol routes. They seemed confident that the destruction of their bioships had been random accidents or natural hazards. They had no idea that Earth's navies were surrounding them. "Give the order," Sun-Ki said. "Begin Operation Deep Strike." Across the world's oceans, human submarines received the attack order simultaneously. Each vessel had been assigned specific targets based on intelligence gathered over the past week. The aliens were about to experience coordinated warfare for the first time. Captain Eugene commanded a Russian Akula-class submarine positioned above an alien patrol route in the Arctic Ocean. The freezing water provided perfect cover for his approach. The aliens' bioships moved predictably along the same path they had used for days, completely unaware of the danger lurking above them. "Target acquired," reported his weapons officer. 3 bioships in formation, bearing 180. Eugene studied the thermal imaging display. The aliens were following their usual pattern, moving in a line with exactly 500 meters between each vessel. Their bioluminescent displays made them easy to track even in the Arctic darkness. "The thermal layer is perfect," noted Lieutenant Commander Sung-min, the submarine's tactical officer. "The temperature difference will mask our approach completely." The ocean had layers of water at different temperatures, and experienced submarine crews knew how to use these layers to hide from sonar. The aliens' biological sensors had never encountered this type of stealth technique. They were about to learn why human submarines were called the ultimate predators of the deep. "Take us to attack depth," Eugene ordered. "Use the thermal layer to mask our descent." The submarine slipped silently through the water, riding the temperature barrier like an invisible highway. The alien bioships continued their patrol, their sonar clicks echoing uselessly off the thermal layer above the submarine. "Firing solution ready," the weapons officer reported. "Fire all tubes," Eugene commanded. 4 torpedoes launched from the submarine in rapid succession. The weapons spread out to target all three bioships plus their probable escape route. The aliens had no warning until the first explosion lit up the Arctic water. The lead bioship disintegrated in a ball of fire and steam. The second vessel tried to dive, but a torpedo caught it midway through its escape attempt. The third bioship managed to survive the initial attack, but its panicked flight took it directly into the path of the fourth torpedo. Within 2 minutes, all three alien vessels were destroyed. The submarine remained completely hidden beneath the thermal layer, invisible to any alien reinforcements that might arrive. Similar attacks were happening in every ocean. Captain B.O. Rem led a coordinated assault on an alien supply convoy near the mid-Atlantic ridge. Her submarine worked with 2 others to destroy a formation of 12 bioships carrying construction materials to an alien base. The aliens tried to adapt quickly. They began traveling in larger groups and varying their patrol routes. But every change they made only revealed more weaknesses to the human submarine commanders. Commander Wujin discovered that the aliens couldn't navigate effectively in underwater canyons. Their bioships were designed for open water and became confused when sonar signals bounced off canyon walls. He used this weakness to destroy an entire alien scouting force in the Philippine Trench. They can't handle complex terrain, he reported to Fleet Command. Their navigation systems break down when they can't get clear sonar readings. Sonar operator Yunji made another crucial discovery while monitoring alien communications. The bioships used bioluminescent patterns to send messages to each other. But these light displays made them visible from enormous distances. Sir, they're basically sending up flares every time they want to talk, she explained to her captain. We can track their communications from 50 kilometers away. The aliens' every advantage was becoming a weakness. Their advanced biotechnology made them glow like beacons in the dark ocean. Their sophisticated communication systems announced their presence to any submarine within detection range. Their large, powerful bioships were easy targets for weapons designed to sink heavily armored warships. Chief Engineer Kyung Ho was working around the clock to upgrade submarine stealth systems. His modifications made human submarines even harder to detect by adapting their hull coatings to match surrounding water temperature and pressure. The aliens are trying to develop new sensors, he reported to Admiral Sun-ki. But they're working from completely wrong assumptions. They think detection is about seeing things, not about hearing silence. The alien commanders were indeed struggling to understand their enemy. Their bioships reported being destroyed by invisible forces that struck without warning. No alien sensors could detect the attacking vessels, and no alien weapon could target something they couldn't see. Panic began spreading through alien formations. Bioships started traveling in defensive clusters, but this only made them easier targets for submarine Wolfpacks. Captain Insu demonstrated this by destroying an entire alien convoy with a single submarine attack. The aliens had grouped their ships so tightly that one torpedo spread could hit multiple targets. They're making themselves more vulnerable, not less, Insu reported after the attack. Their defensive formations are perfect for our weapons. The psychological impact on the aliens was becoming obvious. Their patrol routes became erratic and unpredictable as individual. Commanders made desperate attempts to avoid the invisible attackers. But random movement only made them easier to intercept, Lieutenant. Commander Seungmin developed new protocols that took advantage of the aliens' growing paranoia. Human submarines would appear at the edge of sonar range, fire a single torpedo, then disappear before the aliens could respond. This technique convinced the aliens that they were being hunted by vast numbers of invisible predators. They think there are submarines everywhere, Seungmin explained. Every destroyed bioship makes the survivors more frightened and less effective. The aliens tried to establish safe zones around their bases, but human submarines simply waited at the edges of these zones and picked off any vessel that ventured outside. The aliens found themselves trapped in shrinking circles of safety while their supply lines were systematically destroyed. Admiral Sun-ki watched the reports flowing in from around the world. In just 2 weeks, human submarines had destroyed over 300 alien vessels while suffering no losses themselves. The aliens were beginning to abandon their outer bases and retreat to the deepest ocean trenches. "They're learning to fear us," he observed. "But fear won't save them." The deep war was just beginning, and humanity held every advantage. The aliens had chosen to fight in Earth's oceans where human submarines ruled supreme. They had brought their invasion to the one place where humanity was perfectly equipped to destroy them. The ocean depths that the aliens thought would protect them were about to become their graveyard. Captain Bioram studied the intelligence reports spread across the chart table in her submarine's command center. The target was the largest alien installation discovered so far, a massive breeding facility located in the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean. According to reconnaissance data, the facility was producing new bioships at an alarming rate. "The facility is protected by at least 50 bioships," reported her executive officer. "Intelligence suggests it's critical to their expansion plans." Bioram nodded as she examined the underwater terrain maps. The alien facility was built into the walls of an underwater canyon system surrounded by natural defenses that would make a direct assault difficult. But the same terrain features that protected the aliens could be used against them. "Signal the Wolf Pack," she ordered. "We attack in 6 hours, formation Eco 7. 4 submarines would participate in the raid. Bioram's vessel would lead the main assault while the others positioned themselves to catch any escaping aliens." The attack plan relied on speed, stealth, and the submarine crew's superior knowledge of underwater terrain. Commander Wu Jin received the attack signal aboard his submarine Silent Hunter. His vessel was already positioned in the approach canyon, using the rocky walls to mask its sonar signature. The canyon was so narrow that the aliens couldn't use their standard formation patterns. "Terrain analysis complete," reported his navigation officer. "The canyon walls will channel their sonar signals into multiple echoes. They won't be able to get clear readings on anything." This was exactly what Wu Jin had hoped for. The aliens relied completely on their biological sonar for navigation and threat detection. In the confusing acoustic environment of the canyon, their sensors would be nearly useless. "Take us to level 370, he ordered. "Use the thermal layers for additional concealment." The submarine descended to a depth where the water temperature created a natural barrier to sonar detection. Combined with the canyon's acoustic confusion, the submarine became completely invisible to alien sensors. Meanwhile, Captain Yujin was approaching from the opposite direction. His submarine followed a deeper route that brought him underneath the alien facility. The breeding complex extended down into the ocean floor, with biological structures that pulsed with the same blue light as the bioships. "Sir, I'm reading massive life signs throughout the facility," reported sonar operator Yunji. "There are hundreds of creatures in there, including some that are much larger than the bioships we've encountered." Through his periscope, Yu Jin could see the alien breeding chambers. Young bioships floated in glowing pools while adult aliens tended to them with delicate care. The sight was both fascinating and terrifying. The aliens were producing new vessels for their invasion fleet at an incredible rate. "Target the support structures first," Yujin decided. "If we can bring down the main breeding chambers, the entire facility will collapse." The attack began when Bioram's submarine launched the first salvo of torpedoes. The weapons streaked through the water toward the facility's outer defenses. The explosions sent shockwaves through the canyon, causing rock slides that trapped several alien bio-ships. The defending aliens immediately went into panic mode. Their bioships spread out in all directions, trying to locate the source of the attack. But the canyon's walls made their sonar useless, and they couldn't see the submarines hidden in the acoustic shadows. Commander Wu Jin took advantage of the confusion to strike at the facility's communication center. His torpedoes destroyed the biological transmitters that the aliens used to coordinate their defenses. Without communication, the alien response became chaotic and unorganized. "Multiple targets, bearing 090, called out his weapons officer. "Bioships converging on our last firing position." "They're chasing ghosts," Wu Jin observed with satisfaction. Fire at the cluster and relocate immediately. The torpedoes struck the group of bioships while they were bunched together searching for an enemy that was no longer there. 3 aliens were destroyed in the blast, and the survivors scattered in fear. Captain Wu Jin chose that moment to strike from below. His submarine had maneuvered under the main breeding facility, and now he fired a full spread of torpedoes directly up into the alien structures. The weapons punched through the facility's biological hull and exploded inside the breeding chambers. The results were devastating. The alien facility began collapsing as its support structures failed. Glowing fluid poured from ruptured chambers while young bioships died before they could escape. The aliens' carefully constructed breeding program was being destroyed in minutes. "Sir, alien reinforcements approaching from the east," reported Eunji. "At least 20 bioships moving fast." But the reinforcements arrived too late to save the facility. Captain Bo Ram's submarine had positioned itself perfectly to intercept the rescue force. Her torpedoes struck the lead bioships while they was still trying to navigate the canyon's narrow entrance. "Box them in," Bo Ram ordered. "Don't let any of them escape to report what happened here." The canyon became a killing ground as human submarines attacked from multiple directions. The alien bioships couldn't maneuver effectively in the confined space, and their sonar was useless against the rocky walls. They were trapped in a maze where invisible predators hunted them. One by one, the alien vessels were destroyed. Their bioluminescent death throes lit up the canyon like fireworks, but no signals escaped to warn other alien forces. The entire breeding facility and its defenders were eliminated without any aliens surviving to report the attack. "Facility destroyed," Ba-Erm reported to Fleet Command. "No alien survivors detected. The breeding program has been completely eliminated." The success of the breeding facility raid sent shockwaves through the alien command structure. Intelligence intercepts reveal growing panic among alien leaders as they realized that their supposedly safe deep-water installations were vulnerable to human attack. Admiral Sun-Ki studied the after-action reports with grim satisfaction. The aliens had lost their primary breeding facility and most of their reserve bioships in a single coordinated attack. More importantly, they were learning that nowhere in Earth's oceans was safe from human submarines. "The aliens are starting to abandon their outer installations," reported his intelligence officer. "They're pulling back to the deepest trenches and consolidating their forces." This was exactly what Sun-Ki had hoped for. By forcing the aliens to retreat, human submarines were gaining control of more ocean territory. The aliens were giving up their invasion positions and turning into a defensive force, but the psychological impact was even more important than the territorial gains. The aliens had come to Earth expecting to dominate the oceans with their superior technology. Instead, they were being hunted by invisible predators that struck without warning from the crushing depths. Captain Insu received new orders to probe the aliens' remaining defenses. His submarine approached one of their consolidated bases, using advanced stealth techniques to remain undetected. What he found confirmed the intelligence reports. "Sir, the aliens are showing clear signs of psychological breakdown," he reported. "Their patrol patterns are erratic, and they're keeping their bioships clustered in defensive formations that make them vulnerable to torpedo attacks." The aliens were responding to human submarine tactics with increasing desperation. They tried traveling in larger groups, but this only provided better targets. They attempted to vary their routes, but human submarines simply waited at choke points and ambushed them anyway. Lieutenant Commander Sung-min observed that the aliens were beginning to avoid certain areas of the ocean entirely. Deep canyons, thermal layers, and complex terrain features were becoming no-go zones for alien forces, because they had learned that human submarines used these areas for concealment. "They're giving us control of the battlefield," Sung-min reported. "By avoiding areas where we have advantages, they're limiting their own operational freedom." The breeding facility raid had demonstrated that human submarines could penetrate the aliens' strongest defenses and destroy their most important installations. The aliens were learning that their underwater cities and production facilities were just large, stationary targets for human weapons. Fear was spreading through alien ranks like a plague. Bioship crews reported seeing submarine shadows that weren't there and hearing torpedo sounds in empty water. The psychological pressure of fighting an invisible enemy was breaking down their military discipline. The hunters of the abyss were winning the war for Earth's oceans, and the aliens were beginning to understand that they had made a terrible mistake in choosing this battlefield. The alien command center deep in the Mariana Trench pulsed with frantic bioluminescent signals. Commander Veltar studied the tactical displays showing the locations of destroyed bioships across Earth's oceans. The losses were staggering, and the pattern was always the same: invisible attackers striking without warning. "Our detection systems cannot locate these human vessels," reported his science officer. "They appear to use some form of stealth technology that our sensors cannot penetrate." Veltara's tentacles writhed with frustration. His species had conquered 12 ocean worlds, but they had never encountered an enemy like this. The humans fought like phantoms, appearing only to kill before vanishing back into the depths. "Develop new detection methods," he ordered. "We must find a way to see these submarines." But while the aliens struggled to adapt, Chief Engineer Kyung-ho was already preparing humanity's response to their efforts. His team had been monitoring alien communications and developing countermeasures to any new detection systems the aliens might create. "They're trying to develop electromagnetic sensors," Kyung-ho reported to Admiral Sun-ki. "But they don't understand that our submarines are designed to minimize electromagnetic signatures too." Kyung-ho's workshop had become the center of humanity's technological evolution in submarine warfare. His team was developing new hull coatings that adapted automatically to surrounding water conditions, making submarines even harder to detect. The new adaptive camouflage responds to pressure, temperature, and salinity changes, he explained to Captain Insu during a briefing. "Your submarine will essentially become invisible to any sensor that relies on detecting differences in water properties." Captain Insu's submarine was chosen to test the new stealth technology in a daring mission. Intelligence had located a major alien command center, and the facility was heavily defended by the aliens' latest bioweapons. The mission would test whether human technology could stay ahead of alien adaptation. "Target is a command facility in the Puerto Rico Trench," Insu briefed his crew. "The aliens have surrounded it with new defensive bioships that supposedly can detect stealth vessels. The approach to the target required navigating through a maze of alien sensors and patrols. The aliens had learned from their previous defeats, and were trying to create detection networks that would give them advance warning of submarine attacks, but Kyung-ho's adaptive camouflage system worked perfectly. Insu's submarine slipped through the alien defenses like a ghost, its hull automatically adjusting to match the surrounding water properties. The alien sensors detected nothing as the submarine approached their most important facility. "Range to target 2,000 meters," reported the weapons officer. "Multiple bioships in defensive formation around the command center." Insu studied the alien formation through his periscope. The bioships were arranged in a perfect sphere around the command facility, their sensors scanning constantly for approaching threats. It was an impressive defensive setup that should have detected any attacking vessel. "They're expecting us to attack from outside their sensor perimeter," Insu observed. "But we're already inside it." The submarine had penetrated the alien defensive sphere without triggering any alarms. The adaptive camouflage made it invisible to every sensor the aliens possessed. Insu positioned his vessel for a point-blank attack on the command center. "Fire all tubes," he ordered. 6 torpedoes launched simultaneously from the submarine. At close range, the alien bioships had no time to react before the weapons struck their targets. The command center exploded in a brilliant flash of blue light as its biological systems overloaded. The defending bioships spun in confusion, their sensors still unable to detect the submarine that had just destroyed their most important facility. They fired wildly in all directions, hitting nothing but empty water. "Take us deep and quiet," Insu ordered. "Let's see how they react when they can't find us." The submarine descended into the deep water below the alien formation. Through passive sonar, the crew could hear the aliens' frantic communications as they searched desperately for their invisible attacker. The destruction of the command center sent shock waves through the alien invasion force. Without central coordination, their operations became chaotic and unorganized. But more importantly, it proved that human stealth technology could defeat any detection system the aliens developed. Meanwhile, other submarine commanders were developing new tactics to exploit the aliens' growing psychological breakdown. Commander G1 had discovered that the aliens could be manipulated through psychological warfare. They're so afraid of submarine attacks that they overreact to any suspicious contact, she reported to Fleet Command. We can use this fear against them. G1's submarine carried special sonar decoys that could create false acoustic signatures in the water. By deploying these devices strategically, she could make the aliens believe they were surrounded by submarines. Deploy decoy pattern Alpha 7, she ordered during a mission near an alien supply convoy. The decoys activated across a wide area, each one creating the acoustic signature of a human submarine. The alien bioships immediately detected the false contacts and went into panic mode. Sir, the aliens are firing at the decoys, reported her sonar operator. They're wasting their weapons on empty water. The alien convoy scattered in all directions, as their crews believed they were under attack by multiple submarines. In their panic, they abandoned their cargo and fled toward the nearest base. G1's single submarine had effectively destroyed an entire supply mission without firing a shot. Psychological warfare is proving more effective than direct attacks, she reported. The aliens are so terrified of submarines that they're destroying their own operational effectiveness. This technique was quickly adopted by submarine commanders around the world. Human submarines began using fear as a weapon, deploying decoys and false contacts to trigger alien panic responses. The aliens were becoming afraid of their own shadows in the deep ocean. Captain Tejo tested another psychological warfare technique when he encountered an alien patrol near Japan. Instead of attacking immediately, he allowed his submarine to be partially detected by alien sensors before disappearing again. Let them see just enough to know we're here, he explained to his crew, then vanish before they can target us. The alien patrol detected brief sonar contacts that appeared and disappeared without explanation. The bioships began searching frantically for the submarine, but their sensors found nothing definitive. The psychological pressure of knowing a submarine was nearby but being unable to locate it drove the alien crews to distraction. Sir, the alien formation is breaking up, reported Tejo's sonar operator. They're abandoning their patrol route and heading back to base. The aliens had become so afraid of submarine attacks that the mere possibility of an enemy presence was enough to disrupt their operations. Human submarines were winning battles without even engaging the enemy. Engineer Young Ho was developing modifications that allowed submarines to operate at previously impossible depths. These upgrades enabled human vessels to attack from directions the aliens never expected. The new pressure compensation systems allow us to operate at depths where the aliens think nothing can survive, he explained. We can strike from the deepest trenches where they feel safest. Captain Su-Jin tested this technology during a raid on an alien research facility. Her submarine descended to crushing depths that no known vessel could survive, then attacked the facility from directly below. Range to target, 500 meters directly above us, reported her weapons officer. The facility's defenses are all oriented for horizontal attacks. The torpedoes struck the alien research station from underneath, where it had no armor or defensive systems. The facility was completely destroyed before its defenders even realized they were under attack. The aliens were learning that nowhere in Earth's oceans was safe from human submarines. The invisible hunters could strike from any depth, any direction, and at any time. Fear was becoming the dominant factor in alien decision-making as they struggled to fight an enemy they couldn't see or understand. Their mighty invasion force was being terrorized by human submarines that had evolved into the perfect predators of the deep. Intelligence Officer Namjai sat in the deep-sea listening post. surrounded by banks of equipment that intercepted alien communications across all Earth's oceans. The facility was hidden in an underwater cave system, perfectly positioned to monitor alien signals without being detected. What he was hearing made him both fascinated and horrified. "Sir, you need to listen to this," he called to his commanding officer. "The alien communications are showing signs of complete psychological breakdown." The intercepted messages painted a picture of an invasion force in the grip of terror. Alien commanders were reporting attacks by invisible sea demons that struck without warning. Their military reports had devolved into desperate pleas for help against enemies they couldn't understand. "They're calling our submarines void hunters and death shadows," Namjai translated from the alien language. Some of their reports describe submarines as supernatural entities that can appear and disappear at will. The aliens had no concept in their language for stealth warfare. Their attempts to describe submarine attacks resulted in descriptions that sounded like ghost stories rather than military reports. They spoke of vessels that existed between reality and nothingness, predators that hunted from dimensions beyond perception. "Listen to this report from Sector 7, Namjai played another intercepted message. "The bioship commander claims his entire patrol was destroyed by invisible leviathans that fired weapons from empty water. Captain Tejo received this intelligence while his submarine patrolled near the alien home fleet staging area. The aliens have brought massive reinforcements from their home dimension, but the new arrivals were about to learn what their advanced forces had discovered about Earth's oceans." "Contact bearing 270, reported his sonar operator. "Massive formation approaching." "Sir, I count over 50 bioships, including some that are much larger than anything we've seen before." Through his periscope, Tejo could see the alien reinforcement fleet. The bioships were enormous, some reaching over 500 meters in length. Their bodies pulsed with bright bioluminescent displays as they communicated with each other about their arrival at Earth. "They don't know what they're sailing into," Tejo observed grimly. The alien reinforcements moved in perfect formation, their commanders confident in their overwhelming numerical superiority. They had been told that Earth's defenders were primitive, surface dwellers with limited underwater capabilities. They expected to quickly overwhelm any resistance and complete the invasion. Tejo coordinated with 5 other submarines positioned around the alien fleet. The attack plan was simple: demonstrate to the reinforcements exactly what had happened to their advanced forces. "All units, commence attack." Tejo transmitted on the encrypted submarine communication channel. 6 submarines opened fire, simultaneously from different directions. The alien reinforcement fleet found itself under attack by invisible enemies that struck from every direction at once. Their advanced sensors detected no approaching threats until torpedoes were already exploding against their hulls. "Sir, the alien formation is breaking apart," reported Tejo's sonar operator. "They're scattering in all directions." The alien reinforcements had arrived expecting to face a weak enemy, but instead encountered the nightmares their advanced forces had described. Bioships were being destroyed by weapons that appeared from empty water. Their crews panicked as they realized the reports about invisible predators were true. "Multiple bioships are attempting to retreat," the sonar operator continued. "Some are trying to return to their dimensional portal." But the submarine Wolfpack had positioned itself to cut off all escape routes. The alien reinforcements found themselves trapped in a killing field where invisible hunters picked them off one by one. Their overwhelming numbers became a disadvantage as panicked bioships collided with each other in their desperate attempts to escape. Within an hour, the entire alien reinforcement fleet was destroyed or scattered. The survivors fled back through their dimensional portal, carrying tales of terror that would prevent any future reinforcement attempts. Intelligence. Officer Namji intercepted the survivors' reports as they reached the alien home dimension. The messages were barely coherent, filled with descriptions of Earth's oceans as a realm of invisible death where demonic predators hunted from the void between dimensions. "Sir, they're describing our submarines as supernatural entities," Namjai reported. The aliens literally believe they're fighting demons, not human technology. Commander G1 was exploiting this supernatural fear during her missions near alien bases. Her submarine would deploy sonar decoys in complex patterns that created the illusion of multiple invisible predators surrounding alien positions. "The decoys are working better than we hoped," she reported to Fleet Command. "The aliens are so terrified that they're abandoning positions just because they think submarines might be nearby." The psychological warfare was proving devastatingly effective. Alien bioships would detect brief sonar contacts that appeared and disappeared randomly around their positions. The stress of knowing invisible predators were lurking nearby drove alien crews to the breaking point. "Sir, I'm monitoring an alien base evacuation," G1's communications officer reported. "They're abandoning a major installation because they believe it's surrounded by invisible attackers." The alien base had detected G1 sonar decoys and assumed they were under siege by multiple submarines. In reality, only one submarine was in the area, but the aliens' fear made them see threats everywhere. They destroyed their own base rather than risk being attacked by invisible enemies. Captain Duhayan discovered that the aliens were developing new phobias about specific ocean features. They had learned to associate underwater canyons, thermal layers, and deep trenches with submarine attacks, so they avoided these areas entirely. "The aliens are giving us control of the best tactical positions," Duhayan reported. "They're so afraid of submarine ambush that they won't enter any area where we might have an advantage." This fear was crippling alien operations across all oceans. Supply lines that passed through submarine-friendly terrain were abandoned. Patrol routes were altered to avoid areas where submarines might hide. The aliens were essentially surrendering control of Earth's oceans to avoid confronting their invisible tormentors. Intelligence intercepts revealed that alien commanders were suffering from what humans would recognize as post-traumatic stress disorder. Battleship crews reported seeing submarine shadows in empty water and hearing torpedo sounds during routine operations. "They're developing paranoia and hallucinations," Namjai explained to Admiral Sunki. "The psychological pressure of fighting an enemy they can't see or understand is breaking their minds." Some alien commanders had begun refusing orders that required them to patrol areas where submarines might be present. Others demanded massive escorts for simple supply runs. The alien military hierarchy was breaking down as fear overrode discipline. "Listen to this intercepted message," Namjai played another recording. "An alien commander is requesting permission to abandon his sector entirely because he believes it's haunted by death spirits." The aliens had no frame of reference for stealth warfare, so they interpreted submarine attacks through the lens of their own mythology and superstitions. Human submarines had become legendary monsters in alien folklore, creatures that existed in the spaces between reality and nightmare. Admiral Sunki studied the intelligence reports with grim satisfaction. The alien invasion force was being destroyed, not just by superior human tactics, but by their own fear and confusion. They had come to conquer Earth's oceans, but instead found themselves trapped in an underwater hell populated by invisible demons. "They're beginning to abandon their bases and retreat to the deepest trenches," Sunki observed. "Fear is doing what firepower alone might not have accomplished." The psychological warfare campaign had exceeded all expectations. The aliens were defeating themselves through terror, abandoning strategic positions, and destroying their own operational effectiveness. Their mighty invasion force had been reduced to a collection of frightened survivors hiding in the deepest parts of Earth's oceans. The invisible hunters of the deep had become legends of terror in alien mythology, and that terror was winning the war for humanity. Captain Sujin stood before the massive tactical display in the Global Submarine Command Center. The screen showed every ocean on Earth, marked with the positions of alien installations and the submarine forces preparing to destroy them. After months of guerrilla warfare, humanity was ready to end the alien invasion with one coordinated strike. "All submarine commanders report ready," announced the communications officer. 237 submarines in position across all theaters. Admiral Sunki joined Sujin at the display. The operation they were about to launch would either drive the aliens from Earth's oceans forever, or provoke them into a desperate final battle. Either way, the war would be decided in the next few hours. The aliens have concentrated their remaining forces in 12 major installations, Sun-Ki explained. They're hoping that fortified positions will protect them from our submarine attacks. Su-Jin studied the alien defensive positions. Each installation was surrounded by massive numbers of bioships arranged in layered defensive spheres. The aliens had learned to group their forces for mutual protection, but this strategy would work against them. They're still thinking in terms of conventional warfare, she observed. They don't understand that concentrated targets just make our job easier. The operation plan was elegant in its simplicity. Human submarines would strike all 12 alien installations simultaneously, using advanced stealth technology and coordinated tactics to overwhelm the defenders before they could respond effectively. Signal all units, Sun-Ki ordered. Operation Deep Sweep is authorized. Begin final approach. Across Earth's oceans, human submarines began moving toward their targets. Each vessel had been upgraded with Engineer Young-Ho's latest modifications, allowing them to operate at depths the aliens thought impossible. The attackers would strike from directions the defenders could never expect. Captain Eugene commanded the assault on the largest alien installation in the Pacific Deep. His submarine approached from directly below, using the crushing depths as cover. The alien facility extended down into the ocean floor, but its defenses were oriented horizontally. Target analysis complete, reported his weapons officer. The installation's structural weak points are accessible from our current position. The aliens never expected an attack from this depth. The submarine had descended to a depth where the water pressure would instantly crush any unprotected vessel. But Young-Ho's pressure compensation systems allowed the submarine to operate normally in conditions that the aliens considered impossible for any technology to survive. Range to target, 300 meters, the weapons officer continued. All tubes loaded with deep strike warheads. Eugene studied the target through his specially modified periscope. The alien installation pulsed with bioluminescent activity as thousands of creatures worked to maintain their underwater city. They had no idea that death was approaching from the crushing depths below. Fire all tubes, Eugene commanded. 8. Torpedoes launched from the submarine and streaked upward toward the alien installation. The weapons had been specially designed for deep strike missions, carrying warheads that could penetrate the biological armor of alien structures. The torpedoes struck the installation's foundation supports simultaneously. The explosion sent shockwaves through the biological structure, causing catastrophic failures in its organic support systems. The entire facility began collapsing as its living architecture died. Commander Wu Jin was leading the attack on the aliens' primary military base in the Atlantic Trench. His submarine had approached through a complex underwater canyon system that confused alien sensors. The base's defenders couldn't get clear sonar readings because of the rocky terrain. Enemy bioships are maintaining defensive formation, reported his sonar operator. But they can't track our movement through the canyon walls. Wu Jin's submarine emerged from the canyon system directly inside the alien defensive perimeter. The bioships were looking outward for approaching threats, never expecting an enemy to appear among them from an impossible direction. Target the command structure first, Wu Jin ordered. Without coordination, their defense will collapse. The submarine's torpedoes struck the alien command center before the defenders realized they were under attack. The bioships spun in confusion as their coordination signals went dead, leaving each vessel to fight independently. Captain Bo-Ram was conducting a different type of assault on an alien research facility in the Arctic Ocean. Her submarine used the freezing water to mask its thermal signature, while approaching through multiple thermal layers that created perfect acoustic camouflage. The thermal barriers are working perfectly, reported her navigation officer. Their sonar can't penetrate the temperature differences. Bo-Ram's submarine appeared and disappeared through the thermal layers like a ghost, striking at the research facility from different angles before vanishing again. The alien defenders fired wildly at sonar contacts that existed only in the thermal distortions. Multiple hits on target, the weapons officer reported. The research facility is breaking apart. Across all theaters, the coordinated assault was proceeding exactly as planned. Human submarines struck from impossible directions using tactics the aliens had never encountered. The supposedly impregnable alien installations were being destroyed. One by one. Engineer Young Ho monitored the operation from his technical command center. His modifications were performing flawlessly, allowing submarines to operate in conditions that violated everything the aliens understood about underwater warfare. The deep strike modifications are exceeding specifications, he reported to Admiral Sun-ki. Our submarines are attacking from depths where the aliens believe nothing can exist. Captain Insu demonstrated this capability during his assault on an alien manufacturing center. His submarine had descended to the very bottom of the Mariana Trench, where the pressure was crushing and the temperature near freezing. From this impossible position, he launched a devastating attack on the facility above. Target destroyed, Insu reported. The aliens never developed defenses for attacks from the bottom of the ocean. The psychological impact of the coordinated assault was devastating. Alien communications filled with panicked reports of simultaneous attacks by invisible enemies. Their commanders couldn't understand how human submarines had appeared in so many places at once. Intelligence Officer Nam Jai intercepted alien communications that revealed complete breakdown of their command structure. They think they're under attack by thousands of submarines, he reported. They can't comprehend that we're achieving this with coordinated tactics. Captain Teho was exploiting this confusion during his attack on an alien supply depot. His submarine used advanced acoustic camouflage to appear as multiple contacts on alien sonar, making the defenders believe they were surrounded by an entire submarine fleet. Sir, the aliens are requesting immediate evacuation, reported his communications officer. They think they're facing overwhelming numbers. In reality, Teho's single submarine was creating the illusion of a massive attack force through sophisticated electronic warfare. The aliens abandoned their supply depot without firing a shot. Convinced they were facing impossible odds, the coordinated assault reached its climax when all 12 alien installations came under attack simultaneously. The aliens' remaining forces found themselves fighting for survival against invisible predators that struck from every direction at once. Captain Dong-Su led the final assault on the aliens' last major stronghold. His submarine penetrated the facility's defenses using a combination of stealth, technology, and masking that made detection impossible. All major installations are reporting heavy damage, announced the fleet communications officer. Alien resistance is collapsing across all theaters. The aliens' carefully constructed invasion infrastructure was being systematically destroyed. Their bioships were scattered and demoralized, their commanders dead or missing, their installations reduced to glowing ruins on the ocean floor. Admiral Sun-ki watched the tactical display as alien defensive positions disappeared one by one. The coordinated assault had achieved everything they had hoped for and more. The alien invasion force was being completely eliminated. Signal all units, he ordered. Begin Phase 2. Hunt down any surviving alien forces and prevent them from regrouping. The phantoms of the deep had struck their final blow. The alien invasion of Earth's oceans was ending not with a desperate battle, but with the complete collapse of an enemy force that had been terrorized into defeat by invisible hunters they could never see or understand. Admiral Haewon stood on the observation deck of the floating command platform, watching the sunrise paint the Pacific Ocean in shades of gold and red. For the first time in months, the surface was calm and peaceful. Below the waves, the final phase of humanity's victory was unfolding as submarine crews hunted down the last remnants of the alien invasion force. Sir, Captain Duhayan is reporting from Sector 7, announced the communications officer. The alien evacuation fleet has been located near the dimensional portal in the Mariana Trench. Hey, one studied the tactical display showing the aliens' desperate retreat. After the coordinated destruction of their major installations, The surviving aliens were fleeing back to their home dimension through the same portals they had used to invade Earth's oceans. "How many vessels?" HFY asked. "Approximately 40 bioships, sir. They appear to be carrying survivors from across their entire invasion force." The alien retreat had been building for days as demoralized survivors abandoned their positions and fled toward the safety of their home dimension. But human submarines were ensuring that none of the invaders escaped without understanding exactly why their conquest had failed. Captain Duhayan's submarine shadowed the alien evacuation fleet from the deep waters below. His vessel remained completely undetected as it followed the retreating bioships toward their dimensional portal. The aliens were so focused on escape that they had abandoned all security protocols. "Sir, the aliens are transmitting continuous warnings back to their home dimension," reported his communications officer. "They're describing Earth's oceans as a death realm populated by invisible demons." Duhayan smiled grimly as he listened. To the intercepted alien transmissions? The fleeing invaders were ensuring that their home dimension would never attempt another invasion of Earth. Their reports painted human submarines as supernatural predators that ruled the deepest waters. "They're calling our submarines void hunters and shadow leviathans," the communications officer continued. "Some of their reports claim we can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously." The aliens had no scientific framework for understanding stealth technology, so they interpreted submarine capabilities through mythology and superstition. Human submarines had become legendary monsters in alien culture, creatures too terrifying to fight and too powerful to defeat. "Maintain surveillance," Duhayan ordered. "I want documentation of their complete withdrawal from Earth's waters." Meanwhile, other submarine commanders were conducting final sweeps of Earth's oceans to ensure no alien forces remained hidden. Captain Sujin led a comprehensive search of the deepest ocean trenches where desperate aliens might try to establish hidden bases. "Sonar contact bearing 090, reported her sonar operator. Single bioship moving slowly along the trench floor. Through her periscope, Sujin could see the lone alien vessel. It was badly damaged and moving erratically, probably the survivor of one of the major installation attacks. The bioship's bioluminescent displays flickered weakly as its biological systems failed. "Sir, the alien vessel is transmitting a distress signal," the communications officer reported. "But no other aliens are responding?" The lone bioship represented the fate of the entire alien invasion force. Cut off from support, damaged beyond repair, and hunted by invisible predators, it was a symbol of the aliens' complete defeat. Even their own kind had abandoned it in their desperate flight to safety. "Surface and offer assistance," Sujin decided. Her submarine rose to the surface near the damaged alien vessel. The bioship's crew was amazed to see their invisible tormentor reveal itself voluntarily. Through translators, Sujin's crew offered to guide the aliens to the nearest evacuation portal. "Tell them this," Sujin said to the translator. "Earth's oceans belong to humanity. They are welcome to leave peacefully, but they can never return." The alien crew accepted the offer with grateful terror. They had heard stories of the phantom submarines that could appear and disappear at will, but they had never expected mercy from such legendary predators. The damaged bioship followed Sujin's submarine toward the dimensional portal, escorted by the very enemy they feared most, intelligence officer Namje. "I was analyzing the final alien communications as the evacuation concluded," the intercepted messages revealed the complete psychological breakdown of the invasion force and provided valuable insights into alien thinking. "Sir, their final reports are being transmitted to military commands across their home dimension," Namjai reported to Admiral HFY. "They're recommending that Earth be classified as a forbidden world due to its supernatural guardians." The aliens were ensuring that their defeat would prevent any future invasion attempts. Their reports described Earth's oceans as a realm where invisible death lurked in every shadow, where predators could strike from impossible depths without warning. "They're calling human submarines the deep ones and hunters of the void," Namjai continued. Some reports claim our submarines exist in the spaces between dimensions and can travel through solid matter. Captain Yujin was observing the aliens' final departure from his position near the primary dimensional portal. The massive rift in space-time had been used to bring thousands of alien vessels to Earth, but now only a few dozen survivors were limping home through it. "Sir, the dimensional portal is beginning to collapse," reported his science officer. "The aliens are sealing it from the other side." Through his periscope, Yujin watched as the swirling vortex of energy slowly contracted. The aliens were cutting off their own escape route to ensure that nothing could follow them back to their home dimension. They feared human submarines so much that they were willing to trap themselves in their own realm rather than risk pursuit. "The portal is completely closed," the science officer confirmed. "No further dimensional activity detected." The alien invasion was officially over. The dimensional rifts that had brought the invaders to Earth were sealed, and the surviving aliens were trapped in their home dimension with stories that would prevent any future attempts at conquest. Admiral Haywan received reports from submarine commanders across all Earth's oceans confirming the aliens' complete withdrawal. The massive underwater cities were empty and slowly collapsing as their biological systems died. The glowing structures that had once represented alien conquest were becoming artificial reefs that would eventually support Earth's marine life. "All ocean sectors report clear of alien presence," announced the fleet communications officer. "Earth's waters are secure." Captain Minho conducted a final patrol through the South China Sea, where the first alien contact had occurred months earlier. The underwater landscape showed no trace of the invasion except for a few harmless biological structures that were already being colonized by Earth sea creatures. "It's like they were never here," observed his executive officer. "But they were," Minho replied. "And they learned something important about humanity before they left. The alien invasion had failed because the invaders had chosen to fight humanity in the one environment where humans held every possible advantage. Earth's oceans had been the aliens' downfall, turning from a safe haven into a hunting ground where invisible predators ruled supreme. Commander Wu Jin summarized the lessons learned during his final mission briefing. "The aliens made 3 critical errors," he explained to his crew. "They underestimated human adaptability, they chose a battlefield where we were strongest, and they never understood that their greatest strength could become their greatest weakness. The aliens' advanced biotechnology had made them visible and loud in an environment where survival depended on invisibility and silence. Their sophisticated communication systems had made them easy to track. Their large, powerful vessels had made them perfect targets for weapons designed to sink heavily armored ships. Engineer Young Ho was already analyzing alien technology salvaged from the destroyed installations. "Their biotechnology is incredibly advanced," he reported to Admiral Haywan, "but it was completely unsuited for stealth warfare. They evolved in an environment where hiding was impossible, so they never developed the ability to fight invisible enemies. The technological insights gained from the alien invasion would advance human submarine capabilities by decades. But more importantly, humanity had proven that superior technology meant nothing without proper tactics and understanding of the battlefield. As the sun set over the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Haywan reflected on humanity's victory. The aliens had come to Earth expecting to conquer a primitive species with limited underwater capabilities. Instead, they had encountered the most sophisticated submarine warfare force in known galactic history. "The oceans are ours," he said quietly to himself. "They always were." Somewhere in another dimension, alien military commanders were studying reports that would become legends. They spoke of a world where invisible leviathans haunted the deepest waters, where phantom hunters could appear from nothingness to strike without warning, and where the very darkness of the ocean depths was alive with predators that existed beyond the boundaries of normal reality. Earth's submarines had become mythological creatures in alien folklore, and that mythology would protect humanity's oceans for generations to come. The invasion was over, but the legend of the invisible hunters would ensure that no alien force would ever again